So I'm calling this shirt a double side burst. The shirt has been folded in half, and I'm going to use a piece of kite string and my washable marker to create a half circle to start my fan fold pattern. Now I'm turning the shirt towards me. As I'm creating my fan folds, I want each fold to go along that pink line that we just created with the washable marker. So I'm going to continue to twist my shirt and just get everything lined up in front of me. Sorry, I realized that I'm out of view of the camera, so right about here I'm going to realize that and move it up into the center, and then I'm going to just continue to fan fold along this line. So this shirt is a Kirkland brand shirt. They're rather thick, and the shirt is quite moist, so I'm really struggling with thickness and the moisture because it's very soft, and it's creating a lot of difficulty for me to create my fan folds. But I am coming up on the end here, and the next thing I'm going to do is use kite string to tie the shirt off. So when tying the shirt off, it's really important that you try to get this first line as straight as possible. So you'll see me sort of adjust to keep that pink line all in a row. So I'm taking my time with the kite string. I'm keeping my folds as flat as possible, and you'll just see me sort of rework them as I go. I'm going to use the kite string just to continue folding all the way down to the end. I'm pulling the string somewhat tight, but not so tight that it doesn't allow the dye to run down the shirt. This is an incline ice dye, and I want to get as much of the colors bleeding into one another as possible. So just continue to work your way down to the end of the shirt. Now that we have the top of the shirt all tied up, we're going to start going the other direction and working the rest of the shirt. I'm going to just continue to fan fold as I go and wrapping with kite string and just readjusting my fan folds if I need to. So with the shirt being so large and bulky, I'm using this rubber band to just help temporarily keep the shirt together so that while I'm tying with a kite string, it just makes it a little easier to get it wrapped around the shirt. So you notice here that that one fold sort of came over top of the other one. What I'm going to do is just pull a little bit on the back of the shirt and try to get that fold to go down in there a little bit, just to keep the pattern a little more uniform. So I'm just reworking the folds. You notice how I open the shirt up. That way I'm able to create more folds in the sleeve. The folds are what give us the pattern. Finally, we're making our way down to the end of the shirt. So it gets a little difficult down here because the collar of the shirt has that extra material, so it can become thick and hard to fan fold. So I'm going to just ultimately end up scrunching and folding it over and into itself, and it will just continue on with the pattern. Also, because this is an extra large shirt, it's quite long. Now, as I work my way back to the beginning where the pink line is, as I'm going along, if there's any loose folds, like you'll see here, that part that's sticking out, I'm going to use the kite string to catch that and just hold it down to keep everything folded as much as possible, just to try to keep that pattern going. And I'm going to work my way back down to the beginning, find that tail, and just tie a really basic double knot. So our shirt is all folded up and now it's ready to be dyed. So I'm going to use my washable markers that you can get at any store. And we're using Deep Space, Lime Pop, Bluebird, and Kelly Green. And I had already marked the shirt up, realized I didn't hit record, so I'm just demonstrating how simple it is to do. Just mark your shirt. So now we're going to use little picnic spoons to dip into the jar and sprinkle the dye directly onto the shirt. It's really important that you use 1 spoon in each container. No double dipping. So I just start with little taps, little bits of color. The dye can go flying and it can create quite a mess. So just tap it on, and then you'll see me come and use the back of the spoon to smooth it out. That sort of helps keep the dye on the shirt when you begin to apply the ice. Right now we're using the Deep Space, and I get all my dyes right now from Dharma Trading Company. Since this is the first color that I'm laying down on the shirt, it sort of appears like I'm double dipping. Once I have put other colors down, I won't rub the shirt and go back into the container. I'm too afraid that I'm going to cross-contaminate and add just one little particle of, let's say, lime green, and then the whole batch is ruined. Now we're going in with that lime pop, and we're just going to do the same thing we did with the deep space. I start with a little bit of sprinkles and just work my way down. Now the lime pop is thicker for some reason, and it doesn't want to tap out of the spoon, so bear with me, we're going to get through this. So I'm just continuing to add the lime pop, and I feel like there wasn't enough in the first sections, so I'm going back up to add more before I use the back of the spoon to smooth it onto the shirt. Okay, the next color coming up is Bluebird. It's a new color from Dharma Trading Company, and it's really pretty. I'm just going to do what I did with the other two colors, little taps, then smooth it in. So I've smoothed out the Bluebird and realize I want more dye on there. So I grab a new spoon and I start over, adding a little more color. And so I'm adding it here, and you're gonna watch me smooth it on and realize, oh, wait, I don't want to double dip, so I'm going to grab a new spoon. I try to be very conscientious of this. I think it's really important. And lastly, we're going to go in with the Kelly green, and we're just going to do the same thing we did with the other 3 colors. So you're about to see me catch myself and realize I was almost going to double dip, but I caught it and I grabbed another spoon because I definitely don't think there's enough dye right here in this section. So I'm going to add more dye with a new spoon and then smooth them all out. And then the next thing we're going to do is add the ice. A little preview of how pretty Kelly green's gonna look when it begins to split. All right, now we're going to get ready to add the ice. I've put the gutter inside of a plastic tote, and I'm just gonna add the ice. And right here, I wanna just give a shout out to Angie over at Fun Endeavors Tie-Dye Lab. She has been an amazing YouTube teacher, so go over and check out her videos. She does amazing work and has pretty much taught me everything I know. So thank you for this gutter tip because it really works. So what you're watching me do now is I just put on a layer of these ice cubes I got from the dollar store, the trays. The ice sort of will freeze to the cotton shirt. So you will see me at times take one out and hold it there for a second. It helps keep it from rolling down the shirt. So I'm just going to go along here and add all the ice cubes. Well, we lost an ice cube, but you can see how quickly and how beautiful that Kelly green is already starting to look with just a fraction of ice cube melt. Beautiful colors. I'm going to hold it here and hope that it sticks. So it's been just a couple of minutes and I went and found something to prop the gutter up. I want this shirt to be at much more of an incline. This particular tote is rather shallow. So by inclining it even more is going to give more of the watercolors and washes all the colors into one another. So I'm just carefully propping it up and hoping I don't drop all of the ice cubes into the bin. I came back and checked on it about 30 minutes later and I thought I would just show you how pretty it looks. This is probably at about an hour. I do my tie-dyeing out on a sun porch, so it's quite cold. And it's cold here in Portland, Oregon right now, so the ice doesn't melt too quickly. I will ultimately move it indoors where it's, 70 degrees and let the t-shirt batch for 24 to 48 hours. I can tell you that this one is going to go for the full 48 hours. So right now what I'm doing is I'm just adding more ice. I really pack the ice on. I feel like I get a lot better results with the more ice. I just do that first layer to sort of get things going. Otherwise, my ice cubes always end up running down into the bottom of the tote, knocking all my dye off. So that's just a process that I have found that works for me. Everyone finds their own way. Trial and error. So you're going to notice here that I have a dye towel at the bottom of the gutter. I'm using that so that I'm able to just put ice around the shirt instead of having to pack ice all the way down to the bottom of the tote. Up at the top, I've used a paper clip to keep the shirt up high at an elevation. Otherwise, if I don't do that, I have noticed my shirts will slide all the way down and then the sleeves become very dark, as if they were dyed in the muck. So this is just what I have done to try to stop from having to use too much ice and keeping the bottom of the shirt out of the melted ice. Okay, at this point it's been 48 hours and it's time to rinse the shirt. So I start by rinsing the shirt on cold water. This is going to stop the soda ash and rinse away any of the residual dye that maybe didn't dissolve during the ice dye process. So I'm going to rinse the front, rinse the back, increase the water to warm water, rinse it a little more, and then eventually increase the water to hot water. Once I feel that the water has begun to rinse pretty much clear, I'm going to take some scissors and carefully cut the kite string. You really want to make sure that you take your time and do not cut the shirt, creating any holes. Once I've cut all the strings, I continue to rinse while I make sure that I get all of the cut string and set it off to the side, because we do not want this going down the drain in time. That could create some serious plumbing issues, and you just don't want that. Now I'm still continuing to rinse the shirt as I'm opening it, and I'm really liking what I'm seeing. There are a lot of really nice colors. As you see, there's still quite a bit of dye coming out of the shirt, so I'm just going to continue to rinse as I open the shirt up. Wow, this looks really nice. So I continued to let this shirt rinse just a little bit more while the washing machine filled up with hot water. I washed it on 2 hot water cycles and then a 3rd cycle with hot water and Dharma's textile detergent. And then I did a 4th wash on hot water with Milsoft to soften the shirt back up. Here are the final results of our shirt. I think it turned out really, really nice. We have a lot of nice color splits and a lot of contrast. I really do like this shirt quite a bit. So I know this was a rather long tutorial, but thank you for watching, and please subscribe and like so that I can continue to make more videos to help you learn how to do tie-dye along with me. Thank you very much for watching.